State election officials around the country are warning of a new problem that could have a big impact on the November elections. We're talking about a high turnover among local election workers who are in charge of overseeing your vote. A report by the Bipartisan Policy Center found turnover rose from 2018 to 2022, and battleground states saw even higher trends. Jerika Duncan traveled to Pennsylvania to find out why this is a big worry for officials there.
In 2020, the battleground state of Pennsylvania was ground zero for election protests, court challenges, and threats to election officials like Republican Al Schmidt.
You want to compare the results on all of those scanners.
He's a former Philadelphia commissioner who oversaw the city's elections. But these days, Schmidt has a much bigger role as Secretary of the Commonwealth, the top election official for the entire state.
What do you think is the greatest threat in 2024, this presidential election?
The turnover that we've seen with the people responsible for running elections. Some people left because of the ugly environment with threats and all the rest. Some people left because it was time for them to retire.
Across Pennsylvania's 67 counties, more than 80 senior election officials have left, impacting over 2/3 of counties.
Whenever you have people leave, people who have worked in elections for a long time and been replaced by people with less experience, the more likely you are to have people make mistakes in election administration.
An analysis of Pennsylvania's general election last year found an increase in ballot errors, in part due to turnover. Ballot errors doubled in the state's municipal general elections from 2021 to 2023.
These errors included instructions to vote for the wrong number of candidates, duplicate ballots being sent to the same voter, races or candidates being left off the ballot, improper ballot instructions and spelling errors.
So when you are running elections, there is no room for error, right? There's no redos or do-overs. But when it comes to the issues that you raised, in every one of the cases that you mentioned, there were remedial actions put in place to make sure that the results were accurate.
So these are all the materials needed on Election Day.
This will be Chris Spackman's first presidential election as Dauphin County's Director of Elections. Previously, he served as deputy.
Do you feel like you have the support you need as a first-time election director?
Absolutely. So a lot of support from fellow election directors and also from my predecessor. I have them on speed dial.
But not everyone has that same support.
In some of those counties, you might have a single person responsible for doing everything.
In some of the counties in Pennsylvania?
And across the country.
How do you ensure the integrity of a vote when you're telling me that there are counties with one person responsible for the entire county?
They may have to rely on other departments or other offices at the county level to assist them in conducting their role. But in our experience, you have checks and balances built into the system to make sure election results are accurate and people can have confidence in those results.
On the morning of November 6th, your hope is?
When it comes to election administration, you never see a headline, Election Day went smoothly. And what I'd really love is to see a headline that went, Election Day went smoothly in Pennsylvania.
Since 2020, Pennsylvania has redesigned its mail-in ballots, a major point of legal contention, though, to make it easier for voters to know where to sign and date their ballot so that it is valid. Secretary Schmidt also told us he feels the state is better coordinated to handle threats against election officials. He told us personal threats against him continue to, quote, ebb and flow. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.